This is episode 9 of the NintenDUO Podcast, hosted by Remco and Tycho, yours truly. We are the NintenDUO playing Nintendo since as long as we can remember. I started on the Game Boy Classic and Remco started on the Wii U. That's a joke. So, let's dive deep into the Nintendo Switch 2 physical games problem, because there is a problem. Well, Remco, maybe you want to enlighten the viewers.
There's a huge problem. So, these games, well...
I mean, I can also...
So actually the problem mostly is for the third-party developers. Because we heard they were getting an option to get to distribute like empty game cards with a download code. Or they had the option for a 64 gigabyte game cartridge, a very large game cartridge, or a digital game. I'm not sure about that. So three options.
Those are the three options.
But of course, like the 64 gigabyte, that's the most expensive option for like a third party developer who's making a small game. So you have like a super small game on a huge game cartridge. So and they're not really happy for that choice, so they're...
Yeah, so there's, for example, this small game called Puyo Puyo Tetris, and maybe it has a subtitle, I don't know. But Puyo Puyo Tetris, I bought this game back on the, I think, Nintendo DS. When the original Nintendo DS first launched, this was one of the games I bought, and I regret it to this very day. But this is one of those games that always comes in my I don't know, or like it often comes at a launch of a new Nintendo console. So now again on the Switch 2, Puyo Puyo Tetris. So when you buy this game, physical, if you buy a physical copy of this game, at least that's what you think. But then you open the box, you see the game card also, but then it turns out it's an empty game card. So because... Like Remco said, the publisher has three options. Nintendo's giving them three options how to publish their game. So, okay. And just imagine if you are... so you are Sega. Because Sega is the creator of Puyo Puyo Tetris. And they have this very small game. Do you want to invest or do you want to pay €16? Presumably that's the price, according to RGT85, the YouTuber, who's a big fan of the Knicks. FYI. So presumably it's like €16 to buy a cartridge. Then on top of that, you a publisher, they need box art, maybe some other costs. That's a lot of money you will lose per game. So if you're gonna make the decision, okay, I'm gonna bring it out physical, I'm gonna bring it out digital, or I'm gonna bring it out.
With a download code.
With a
like
download code.
An empty game card.
But was it semi-physical, right?
Yeah, that's why I call it semi-physical, because you get all the disadvantage. You get the physical game without actually having the game on it, and you get the digital game, but with the passkey, more or less, because you need the game card.
Yes,
and you also need to download it. So,
and you know why this sucks? So just imagine. It sucks because you have to have this game card in your Switch each time you play the game. You understand? So that's the difference between a digital game or a semi-physical game, which is not a real term, but maybe it should be. Semi-physical, because it's physical, but it's empty, It's just, it unlocks that you can play the game. Maybe it's too... Okay, I just want to... ask us, want us to ask some questions, but before that, I just want to say the fun fact that back in 2018, Nintendo was already planning to make a 64 gigabyte cartridge, and they had to push that back. And I think it's because of the chip issues here in the world.
Yeah, the chip shortages,
worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the fun fact in between. And actually, what I also want to say before we're going to ask these questions, because I want to ask these questions like, what is the advantage and disadvantage of all these options? And that is that on the Switch 1, the publishers, they had a choice. So on the original Switch, there was like a 4 gigabyte card, 8, 16, 32, maximum 32. So then, small publishers or small games would be put on small cartridges. But now... presumably, that's an important word here, but presumably there's only the 64 gigabyte card option, and that is very strange. It's maybe also kind of a way for Nintendo to get more and more people to play digital.
Yeah, you're pushing them
Yeah,
into that direction.
like you're pushing the consumers and the publishers into that corner. Like, okay, you can still put your game on a physical cartridge, but it's gonna cost you this and that and that, and it has to be 64. Or, yeah, you just do it digital. You understand? And we, as a consumer, the ones who are gonna play the games, you and me, we are also getting used to it. Like more and more. Like, okay, we buy this game physical, but actually, oh no, it's digital. And we're getting more and more used to playing digital games, even if you don't want it, right? Because some people want it, but maybe if you don't want it, now you're kind of forced to, because these games, they are just digital. Because but you have a physical, there's an advantage of this physical cartridge. So okay, yeah.
Yeah, but we were also forced to pre-order the Switch 2 with a digital Mario Kart game, because it was a lot cheaper.
It was a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper, yeah.
I mean, but we're not really forced to, because some people still buy the physical Mario Kart game. I saw a YouTuber do that.
Still, of course.
But why did we decide to do that? Well, I was gonna go all virtual this generation, right? Like that was on the Switch.
Yeah, and I didn't want to have like the problem like I'm gonna pre-order the Switch, and then my Mario Kart game is gonna maybe come a day later or on the same day. I just wanted to avoid any problems. Like, okay, I'm just gonna buy digital also, and then it's not gonna be a problem.
So let me ask you a question right here, Remco.
Hit me.
Okay.
Not really, but...
So what is the problem if the game arrives on the same day?
That's not a problem, no?
That's not a problem. So,
That's
okay.
a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But also the money, right? It's like €30 difference.
Yeah.
And maybe you're also going to go virtual. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about it also. And,
I mean...
if every game will be like digital also, why not?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about why not. Okay, so there's 3 questions. Okay, the 3 questions are for the 3 options. So the 3 options are physical game cards, virtual game cards, or virtual game cards with download codes, which are the semi-physical game cards. And the download codes, the official name for download codes are, and Nintendo names them, game key cards. Alrighty.
Game key cards.
It's just a download code. Okay.
Because it's a key. You need the key to open the game.
So, physical game cards, just like we're used to. What's the advantage for Nintendo and what's the advantage for us? So, what is the advantage for Nintendo? Physical game cards, what's the advantage?
What's the advantage for Nintendo? Well, I see more disadvantages actually than advantages. The advantage is maybe you have something you can show, like, oh, look, I have the game right here. Well,
as Nintendo.
As Nintendo, like, yeah. But also...
Yeah. So that is the advantage. The advantage is that they can physically show it.
Yeah, but that's maybe the only advantage I'm thinking.
So I don't even know if that's an advantage.
No,
because they're not doing that. They're not holding the games in their hand. Like I don't remember.
Not like they used to.
Not like they used to. So maybe there's no advantage for Nintendo in physical game cards, right?
No, it's more for the consumer. Like they have something.
Oh, I know one maybe.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe the advantage of physical game cards is that it's being put in stores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then still advertise it a little bit more. Like, oh, you can see all these games, but still.
Yeah, but
these on
option 3 is of course also in the store with the download codes. So maybe it's not an advantage.
Yeah, you can you can do option 3 then also.
So the advantage for physical game cards is maybe for Nintendo.
For Nintendo, I don't really see the advantages.
Yeah, maybe that they can say like in 20 to 30 years you can still trade these games and stuff. If they were to say that, they can say that.
But that's an advantage for the consumer actually.
Yeah, not for Nintendo.
For Nintendo.
Okay, so actually there's no advantage for Nintendo to do the physical game cards. Okay, but for us, what is the advantage for us? For us, it's nice because we have the game physically in our possession. It's not online. We're not dependent on Nintendo's online services or the internet. I mean, some games are dependent on the internet, but we have the game online. And in 20 to 30 years, we can lend this game anyway. We can always lend it, but it still works, you know?
Yeah.
We can always lend this game to each other. It will always work. Just like now with the Game Boy and DS games. That's an advantage for us.
You can also sell it. If you're done with the game, you can also sell it easily.
Yes.
That's also an advantage.
Yes.
And you can buy another physical game.
We can buy also, indeed, other physical games from other people. Secondhand, or maybe you call it vintage. Let's buy some vintage Nintendo Switch 2 games. Vintage, because it sounds, you know, very, very expensive. Vintage. But it's not expensive because it's vintage. So, that's the advantage for us, yes. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. And people like to lick it, but not us.
No.
Maybe this creature right here.
Yeah, I've seen...
Actually,
you cannot... Oh, there's a creature.
there is someone sitting there.
It's a Pokemon.
It's a Pokemon, yeah. It's an Eevee.
Who's that Pokemon?
Like, let me turn this a little bit more like this. So. No, that is nice for the viewers at home. So yeah, Yuki-chan likes to lick the cards, maybe.
So you can't, yeah.
She cannot do that anymore. Okay, so next. Virtual games. What's the advantage for Nintendo and what's the advantage for us, the consumers? Consumers or gamers, you know?
Yeah, for the people who buy the game.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Let me do like this. My socks are in frame. So, the advantage for consumers for virtual games.
For Nintendo.
Oh, for Nintendo.
For Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, Nintendo, obviously, well, you don't have to have the cost for making the physical game. You don't have to have the chips. You don't have to invest in all these resources to get your game on it, to get all these processes together. Also, the little books would come with them. The game kit.
We don't get little books anymore, unfortunately.
No, but
I wish. Yeah, no, they're so
the box
greedy.
art.
Yeah,
all those things.
Yeah,
it saves a lot of money. You can put it on the console virtually. So it mostly saves Nintendo a lot of money.
And also to put it in the stores, you know, they have to.
Yeah, you don't have to put it in physical in the store. So
like you don't have to no commission to stores, you know. It saves them a lot of money. No distribution.
No distribution. No, it's all it's all online.
Yeah, it saves them a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. You know, really a lot. Maybe not
a lot of money.
Even things we're not thinking of. You know, like okay, maybe the distribution needs some insurance also. That Nintendo has to pay for that. And
yeah,
you know,
to get it in the stores also to get it in a certain place in the store, like before, like like in the front of the store. Yeah, ahead of like Xbox or PlayStation
they have to pay extra. You want you want to have a poster in the window. Okay, you pay extra, Nintendo. You know.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. No, so it's a really big advantage. Virtual games for Nintendo. Yeah. And then for us.
Well, it's easier. It's cheaper. So it's cheaper for Nintendo. It's going to be cheaper for us also. And you're not getting. You're
Look. Yeah? You are. That's very like in a happy, nice, good world. Yes, but I don't think it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be the full price, right?
Okay, no. A little bit cheaper than.
Oh, are you thinking about Mario Kart
yes.
or something? They're like €10 cheaper.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, but this is only on the official Nintendo website, because if you buy Mario Kart just on Amazon or on bol.com, it's the same price as the digital price.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nintendo because Nintendo Store,
but you see, because Nintendo just adds €10 in their own store or something to all those games, but everywhere else it's €10 cheaper, and then it's the same price as the virtual price. And what I also noticed sometimes on the Switch 1, like those virtual games are more expensive than when I just buy them on bol.com, you know, the Dutch Amazon. No, really.
That's strange.
That's very strange. No, seriously. Like, they were like €50-60 virtually, and then on bol.com it was like 30-25.
It sounds virtually impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's not that cheaper.
I mean, I just had to interrupt you a little bit.
No, it's okay. It's a good interruption. It's a good, like, a nuance. Look at the
movement.
Pokemon is moving.
Look, instead of good vibes, now it says good vibe. You know?
Good cat vibes.
So,
So another thing, maybe an advantage. The cat cannot eat your game cartridge anymore.
Toddlers, babies, they cannot choke on.
No.
Yeah, that's also good.
And you have all your virtual games all together on the on your Nintendo Switch 2. They're all together, so you can always start up the game, and you don't have to use that annoying little flap you're always talking about.
I'm in previous episodes of this NintenDUO podcast. I'm talking about the flap. I hate the flap, and the Nintendo Switch 2 still has the flap. I don't understand. Yes, all your games are together, but there's a limited space on this SD card, micro SD card, micro SD Express card.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage. Yeah,
that's a disadvantage.
Yeah. No,
that's true. That we're only talking about the advantage.
Only one. The advantage. Okay.
Yeah,
not the
okay. But I
didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Just hear. Yeah, it's great all together. That doesn't matter if it's full after 4 games, but.
Yeah, okay, so that's, I just want to say, like, instead of the flap, we have to open the switch at the bottom and then exchange those SD cards. So it is an advantage if Nintendo allows us to connect an SSD drive to the Switch 2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because then I will buy like an 8 terabyte Switch SSD, which is almost the same price as the Switch 2, but then I can just endlessly...
Yeah, just load up that bad boy.
Yeah. You know what movie I was watching yesterday evening, by the way?
Bad Boys, probably.
Bad Boys 4. Yes.
Oh.
And it was so boring. I was falling asleep. Like, it was so boring.
What you gonna do? Well, fall asleep.
No, they were also trying to, like, what you gonna do? And
what you gonna do?
It was just not it. And then afterwards, me and Salu, my Turkish buddy, whose full name is Selahattin Kilic, I said to him, like, let's watch the trailer of Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
And it's so much better. No, they really... did you see Bad Boys 3 or 4?
3 I seen. 4 I've never seen.
Because 3 came out in the Corona. Like 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think... just a little... I know the answer to this also, but I think, like, why? If you have the best actors, all the actors are there, you have all the money, Why does this movie suck so bad? And the answer is... the directors. So the directors are 2 Belgium guys. They're a little bit younger than us, our age.
Okay.
They're nice, probably. But it's all about the story, and it's about... Sorry, director. It's the directors. Because Bad Boys 3, the names I see there are Michael Bay, Jerry Bruckheimer, of course, from Transformers, from Pirates of the Caribbean. But now we have those 2 Belgium guys who are fans of Bad Boys 1 and 2, and they get the honor to direct. And the story is just... I was falling asleep right here. Seriously. Let's not even mention or talk about Salu, but okay. So the third option. Oh, you want to say something about Bad Boys?
Later. I'm gonna get back to you on Bad Boys.
Oh, shit.
On the end of the news.
Okay. Good. Well, stay tuned.
Yeah.
So, and the third option. So this was physical game cards, virtual game cards, and now we have the semi-physical, aka physical game cards with download codes. Or as Nintendo calls them, game key.
Yeah, because it's like
cards.
Like a key, like you put it inside and then you can open it.
It's a very lame name. It's just a download code.
Yeah, it's a really fancy name for something. Yeah, for a lot of work.
Game key cards.
So what's the advantage? Well,
I see indeed. It's a game key card. Yeah, because you have to keep using it.
You have to open the flap. You have to put it inside, and then it opens.
Yeah,
and it opens up.
So with this. It's an empty shell, what you have to put in your Switch each time.
Don't start crying now.
It's... each time you have to put it in your Switch. And I'm like, why? Why? Hercules! But each time you have to put this game card in your Switch. And what's the advantage of this? Okay, I know the advantage, but it's just...
I know it also, yeah.
It's an empty shell, you understand? You have to put it in, and then when you take it out, it doesn't work. But there's nothing on it. You have to download the full game on your Switch, so it's almost the same as a virtual game, but you need this empty shell game card, or game key card. So the advantage of this is...
Yeah.
Let me tune to Remco.
I know. You get a lot more exercise because you have to get up and put it in the empty game card inside.
Okay, very
Every
good.
time.
Very good. So you get a little bit more exercise depending on your living room space also.
Yes.
The advantage is if I buy this game and I'm done with it, I can resell this game to someone else. And you're not able to do that with virtual games. This will always work. That's what Nintendo says, at least now. But what if the servers in 20 years don't have this game anymore because you have to download the game? But at least in the foreseeable future, as long as Nintendo keeps the servers up with all these games, I can resell this game and someone else can install it on their Switch. We're going to test it out also because I will buy a game with a code probably.
Yeah, me too also.
And then, one of us has to do it just, so either you or me. But then the other person is also going to use this code on on their Switch. And let's see if it works on both our Switches, right?
Yeah, let's test it out.
Because if I sell it, it shouldn't work on my Switch anymore then, if you also install it. You understand?
Yeah, but I'm also now in your family plan. So maybe, I'm just thinking, does it influence this also? And then you have to remove me from the family plan. And then let's see if it doesn't work anymore.
I think it doesn't. I don't have to do that because I realize now I don't have to notify Nintendo. Yeah, I sell this game or something. I'm gonna sell it.
Sell me this game
because it only works when I put the game in my system. So if I don't have the game, it will never work.
So it will recognize your Nintendo Switch 2.
No, I mean the Switch 2 just recognizes you know.
It sees like it's.
And then if I put it in your Switch,
with your Switch,
yeah. I don't know if it's linked with the Switch, but it's just I need to have a game copy. Maybe if we buy the same game, for example, with it would still work. I think like if we both buy one of these games, empty shells, and then I lend yours and you lend mine, it will still work because I don't think it's connected. But just the downloaded game needs to have this empty card in the Switch. It doesn't matter which one. I think we're gonna test it out. So I can still lend it to you. You can download it and play it as long as you want, and then take it back. And you still have the software on your Switch, but you're not able to open it because it's going to say, just like on the Switch 1, like, no, you need to put the game in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's try that out. Yeah, that's a nice idea.
So that is that's the advantage. We're talking about the advantage for Nintendo and the advantage for us. So this was an advantage for us that we can still resell the game. Okay. And we have the physical box. Of course, people like physical boxes in their house.
Yes.
And that's kind of it, And also the same advantages as the first one. It's in the store. People see it, the games when they're walking just to Walmart or something. They see physical, boxes of, they can maybe impulse buy these games.
But the price are going to be more or less the same, right? It's not that they're going to be
as what? As the virtual games?
As the virtual games, they're not going to be like cheaper.
No. Maybe I don't know.
So,
I think it's going to be the same, just like now. Like
so it's not. I'm just thinking about advantages, like now.
Yeah. But what is the advantage for Nintendo?
Yes.
Well, I know. There's no chip. They don't have to produce. They don't have to buy those chips. It's an empty game card, so that's an advantage.
It's cheaper.
It's much cheaper.
And
because the most expensive is this chip. So if it's just an empty game card, I mean, Nintendo probably wants most people to go virtual, and then the second option is the empty game cards, game key cards,
semi-virtual, semi-physical,
semi-physical.
We have another Pokémon, by the way.
And the third option for Nintendo will be just old school physical games. And so they're giving the option to the third party. They're giving this option to the third parties. Like, we have nothing to do with it. You decide. Sega, Activision. Yeah, it's them. Yeah. It's Puyo. We have nothing to do with Puyo. They put this game, like they do the download codes. We don't do that as Nintendo, right? Like,
but they're not giving like them option. Like, oh, here you have like a huge game card for your super small game. Yeah, it's very expensive, but you can also do like the download code and the game key card. You can also do that, of course, or pay us to do it digitally. Yeah. So they're forcing them into a certain direction with that.
One direction.
One direction. Well, multiple directions, but
Mm-hmm.
but they're not giving them the option. Well, you can have like a game card from 2 or 4 or 8 gigabytes or something.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot cheaper.
2 is going to be very small.
Yeah, 2 is gonna. But Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, Puyo
It's
Puyo.
a small game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64 gigabyte game.
No,
Like,
for
maybe
sure,
The
it's,
Witcher.
it's going to be less than 2, I think. Yeah. Oh, did I say that actually about The Witcher?
No, you didn't say that. But in the Switch One.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because I wrote it down also. So Switch 1, the max of the game cards was 32 gigabytes. Oh, look, I'm at the wrong... did you see that? I was on our... Oh, and this is your... that was your sign to subscribe. Because I pushed the wrong button. This is our YouTube channel. We have 18 subscribers, so subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, but that's okay. Well,
So I'm glad it was our website on there, not something else.
Not
You
some
know?
cat website
Yeah,
or something. Like,
yeah.
How to catch your cats.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
Gotta catch
Them all.
I wanted to say, on the Switch 1, 32 gigabyte was the max, and it was exceptionally used by games like The Witcher 3, etc. So that's the sentence I wanted to say, The Witcher.
Yeah, for the huge games.
Yeah, for those huge games. And maybe it was, I mean, third-party games, because of course also Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom were on those cards. But at least from the third parties, The Witcher 3. And maybe also Skyrim, I think.
That's also a big game.
I think
yeah.
so, yeah. So, yeah, and it's not just about small publishers here, because Puyo Puyo Tetris is from Sega. Sega is a big publisher, but they also feel like, we're not going to buy the 64 gigabyte cartridge, Nintendo,
Come on.
Yeah.
What are you trying to sell us?
Yeah,
like
so can you imagine? Because small publishers will then also definitely not do it. Like Shovel Knight, for example, came out physically. At first virtually, but then physically later. They're not going to do that anymore. They're just going to stay virtual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Or Nintendo has to do like the Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I'm going to sell you this game card. It's 64 gigabytes. I'm going to show you why you need this game card. Like, remember the scene? Like,
Is
sell me
Matthew
this pen.
McConaughey saying this to Leo?
No, it's
I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio saying no. He's no. Leonardo DiCaprio saying it to his team like, "Sell me this pen."
Yeah, it's been a few years since I saw that movie, like at the release, So
they're doing that to Sega, like, you're gonna need this one, 64 gigabytes.
it what might be possible is because it's maybe Nintendo in the future will be giving them like smaller game cards as well, like 32, 16, 8. Up to this point, we don't know. It's the only thing we know is 64 gigabytes, and that's it, guys. So
yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
It's a hard knock life for the game publishers working together with Nintendo, and for us as consumers. So let us know in the comment section down below, which of the 3 options do you choose? Are you going to go virtual?
Yeah.
Are you going to go physical? Well, you don't know if you're going to go physical, because... Oh, the last thing I want to say about this is, because then you want to buy the game physical, because you think, okay, I'm going to save some space on my SD card, and then, oh no, wait, it is virtual. So all those games take space on your Switch or on your SD cards, and even though you don't want it, so that's a little bit annoying. Yeah, but okay, that's it. That's the last thing I had to say about this.
Yeah. Well, I'm done about this. I'm done.
Then we're gonna move on to the next news item, which is that the Nintendo Switch can be remotely blocked by Nintendo.
Nintendo can do what?
They can remotely block your Switch 2, Remco. Yes, and also your Switch 2. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Switch 1 also, by the way. I say Switch 2, Switch 1, all the Switches. Switch Lite, Switch OLED, Switcheroo. All the Switches can be blocked by Nintendo remotely. So, this is Nintendo's battle against piracy and involving privacy. Because piracy and privacy. Okay, so Nintendo recently, they updated their users agreement, and this is only in the USA, but the Dutch website is not updated yet, I think. They can permanently make your Switch unusable in whole or in part. And that is insane. So not just one game that you're playing with and that you cracked or hacked. No, they can. Your whole Switch will be unusable, if it's up to Nintendo.
Wow.
Yes.
Crazy, yeah.
So, and also I want to read another quote here. Nintendo reserves the right to suspend your access to any or all Nintendo account services in our sole discretion and without prior notice to you. So it's just you wake up one day and it happened. It's the same as when you get a YouTube strike. So, this is very, very hard. Okay.
So this is for all the bad boys, huh?
All the bad boys.
Bad boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when Furukawa comes for you?
Well, I'm gonna put in my earplugs.
He's gonna shut down your Switch, too.
Well, not mine, Remco, because I'm gonna buy everything honestly. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna mod and hack or whatever.
No, absolutely not.
No. I don't think I ever did so. Also on a Nintendo console. No, I didn't. But it's very hard. So okay, that's the times we're at. Of course, like all these consoles are constantly connected to the internet, and it's not just. It's like a phone, This is the gaming console. It's like a phone. It's like a laptop. It's always connected, and the company can always see. If you have an iPhone, Apple can always, I don't know, it's connected always. And
they can see the activity, like, hey, what you're doing with our games.
And Microsoft can see, what we're doing on the PC. And, that's it. We're always connected. Not like the N64 and the GameCube, that it was our system and we could do what we want, which we didn't. But if we wanted to, we could do a lot of crazy things, but we didn't do that.
But the real problem, or there are several problems, right? Like, for instance, let's say a friend of mine, or maybe
a friend of yours,
or somebody from my from the gym. He says, "Oh, you know this awesome game?" Well, no, I don't know this game. Well,
wait. You're talking about a Pokemon gym here, or what kind of gym?
Oh, a real gym.
Okay.
Like on the bicycle, and somebody's asking, "Oh, did you play this game already? This new Mario game?" I was like, no, I haven't. Oh, I can lend you this game if you want. So I'm like, oh, nice. Well, let's see how this game is. Well, let's put it inside my Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see what happens. Let's start up this Mario, and then suddenly Furukawa comes and shuts down my Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So how? So even if you didn't know this game wasn't an original game. This can also happen with games. Well, you get from like a semi-unknown person, like, oh well, I will play it, but you're not at fault. You just thought like, oh, it's an original game, just put it inside and play it, and later then give it back. But then it's already too late.
So that's indeed the question. The question is how. What's the word? How strong? How tight? How
strict? Or
how strict is Nintendo gonna? Look at this. Like if it happens one time, because accidents like this will happen, or maybe there's like an older brother and then a little kid puts it in his Switch and then that Switch will also get, but the little kid, it's not at fault. Or Remco, he was just on the bike and this stranger on the street, stopped him and, right when at the moment when he was going to the gym, like, hey, but wait a second, you look like someone who play, Switch 2, And he is innocent,
I was innocent. I was a gym buddy.
Yeah.
Well, he was in front of the gym, like, I'm gonna.
yeah. Oh, you finished your workout? Yeah. But let me tell you this.
Yeah, I have to play this game.
So, Remco was innocent, and then indeed he puts it in his Switch, and his Switch will be blocked out of the blue. Yeah. So that's hard. If it would happen like this, how will Nintendo register? Like, okay, but this person is really modding and hacking. Okay, sure, but what if?
Yeah, with the physical game card, how do they monitor this? How do they register it? Like in the moment you put it inside your Nintendo Switch 2, or when you are playing it for some time, then maybe Nintendo sees with your online activity there's like a small difference with the normal games. I don't know.
Yeah. Because this, of course, didn't happen yet. They just now updated the users agreement. So they can do this on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2.
I'm gonna cry again. Right?
Well, it's also this Surinamese drink, Fernandez. Maybe you've heard of this. It's also in America. It's owned by Coca-Cola, but originally from Suriname. But when you read the small letters here, Coca-Cola, Euro-Pacific Partners, Nederland BV, Rotterdam, but then also Fernandez Bottling Company, Suriname. The original taste is a little bit different, but then Coca-Cola bought it, and you know how it goes. And I think those bubbles are coming up a little bit here during this podcast. So, lesson learned right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I'm also just shocked about all this news here.
Yeah, it's very shocking.
I mean, if Nintendo, okay, so it's just they're always watching. We have to get you. We're living in a society where the companies are anyways always watching us, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind. You know, like the moment you go out on the street, cameras are constantly watching you. 1984 has become a reality. Here in this house, there's an Alexa always listening, and Siri in my pocket is always listening, and you know. The AI is not so smart yet at all, so that's okay. But now with the Switch, it's kind of gonna be the same thing. Maybe the Switch is not always listening, but already Nintendo is kind of always looking, you know, or at least when it registers somewhere like, hey, wait a second, this is some hacked version of our game. So for sure they can see, like, if someone is really hacking the console and stuff and modding it, they can see that. But this case, when some other Switch just gets this game inside, and this Switch is from an innocent person, Nintendo cannot know, like, that this person is innocent and or not, you know. So what I think is that Nintendo will not punish Switches where illegal games or stuff will be put in. Mm-hmm. Because how to tell, you know, that they are really the culprit here? Or maybe, you know, you bought it on eBay and, you know, it looks very real. So they can't know that. But they can block the Switch on which it all happens. I don't know if those hackers use a Switch actually. Well, I guess in the beginning maybe they used it, but maybe it all happens on a computer. Because if it all happens on a computer, you don't think they use a Switch to hack the Switch games? They use a computer.
I think they use a computer. Like
because then it's a problem indeed.
To make the game or to
to hack,
just copy it or something.
Yeah, but then it's a problem, because how do you know? Okay, so maybe after like 10 or 5 games, like this Switch has 5 games that are but still it can be an innocent person, right? If you buy like a lot of games from someone,
from eBay.
I sell all my Switch. Something like that. Yeah.
Like, oh, you got a bunch of them. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So how does Nintendo know that they're really catching the bad guy? That's what I.
Yeah. So they don't really know that. Yeah. So that's quite a more ethical question. Like,
yes.
Well,
and we're gonna find out. So as soon as news about this becomes available, it will be here in our podcast for sure. Let's hope that we will not have friends like this, Remco.
No, just gonna buy the official games. Not lending any games from people at the gym, or just gonna do it like.
You can only trust yourself, I think.
Yes.
We cannot even trust each other.
No. So a new feature also for the Nintendo Switch 2 is the battery. So supposedly it won't charge up to 100%. And it won't. I'm sorry.
Well, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
So it's quite similar also to mobile phones, that they won't charge, that they stop charging at around 90%.
Yeah, or laptops.
Just to save the battery life of the just to save on battery life.
Yeah.
But this feature, you also told me that you can also turn off this feature, but the standard version, the standard settings, it's it won't be possible. Like it won't charge you 100%.
Yeah, or the other way around. I'm not 100% sure. Or the other way around. So, anyways, in the settings you can choose. Do you want it to be charged to 100 or to 90%? And it's the same as on the laptop or on phones. I use it on my laptop for sure. When my laptop is plugged in, then it's always on safe mode, and it will not charge higher than 60%. So, The Switch 2 battery will last around 6.5 hours, depending on what games you play. Yeah? Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom will use much more than Puyo Puyo Tetris, for example.
In handheld mode, I suppose.
In handheld or tabletop mode, yes, because we're only playing docked and we can play endlessly.
Or if you just pull out the the Switch out of the electricity and.
Yeah, but then you cannot connect it to the TV.
Yeah, but just the Switch alone. if for instance something happens, like
that's handheld mode, right?
No, but if it's docked and you didn't put in the cable to charge it and you forgot it, so you're still playing on the TV, and after 6.5 hours it just turns off.
But does that even work?
Does it? Oh no, wait, it's charged. No, it has to be charged.
Yeah, but I think if you put it in the dock, do you think it works?
The dock has also be charged.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well,
so only handheld mode and tabletop mode.
Oh shit! I'm looking at the wrong camera.
And toddler mode.
Toddler mode.
That's
I mean, so this was the whole news. There's not much to say about this, other than a nice little update. It means that I should turn this feature on, because my Switch is always docked. Right, so I don't want it to be fully charged, just like a laptop.
Yeah, for your Nintendo Switch 2, the better life, it's better.
Yeah, the lower the better. Just keep it low, you know. I'm a low rider, so I don't have anything to say about this for the rest. And I think it's time to talk about the real,
the real issue.
The second most interesting news item of this episode. So sharing Switch 2 games, there is a catch.
Oh.
And the catch is, not all games will be shareable. So this is very nasty.
That's strange. Yeah.
But we're here in a rumor radar. But still, it's a very nasty rumor.
That's a nasty one indeed.
Nasty.
There's still some games I want to lend.
Yes.
On Switch 2, I think.
So, the news is, because everyone was excited about this feature. I don't know if everyone, but many people were excited about this feature. We are able to share our virtual games. And I think I lent my game to you, Bayonetta, right? Yeah. And you have been playing it, of course, die hard every day.
Almost finished it.
And I lent that game to you virtually. It was nice. Like, I lent it. I had this game on my Switch virtually. And then right here in this living room, I shared it, and it's on your Switch for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, it's going to go back to me. Maybe even now. I don't know.
No, don't do it.
It feels like 2 weeks already.
It's almost 2 weeks.
So,
almost, yeah.
And it was a nice feature. But now, on Nintendo's website, there's some screenshots everywhere. I heard this news from a YouTube channel called Switch Force. Zach from Switch Force with his program Good Morning Mario, Good Morning Switch fans, and he shows his cup. And but you know what I noticed when Zach introduces his videos, like Good Morning Mario, Good Morning Switch fans, he shows the cup and then he always puts his cup down out of frame. And you know what I would really like, Zach, if you ever see this, that you take a sip. Good Morning Mario, Good Morning Switch fans.
Just take a little sip. Just like this.
You take a sip of that, Baileys or whatever it is that's in your cup. Like a real Nintendo fan. Just take a sip.
Yeah.
But okay. Maybe later in the video he might take a sip. I don't know. I'm not clicking away, of course. I'm obviously watching the video still the bitter end. No, that's not a joke. But maybe, because of the B-roll, I don't see the sips. Yeah.
Maybe it's in between, yeah.
Yes. But you know what, I'm...
but these virtual game cards, right? The sharing, we were so happy, like, I have your Bayonetta, I can buy this game, I'll share you the game for 2 weeks, you buy the other game, and share with me for a few weeks. We were one happy family, because we were in the family plan. You have to be one happy family.
Yes.
But now we're not so happy, actually, because it's still a rumor, but if it's gonna be true, it's kind of sucks a little bit. Like
So up to this point, all first-party Nintendo games are supported. So that's good. So Bayonetta is there,
That's nice. Yeah.
And Mario, whatever. But there's also some companies that now already say that they're not going to support it. And so it is like the Nintendo lets the companies decide it for themselves. And that is a little bit... I don't understand why.
It's strange because the other news we were saying, well, they're forcing them in a certain direction, but with this, they're saying, well, you can do what you want.
Yes, yeah, but
that's a little bit strange. Actually.
Yeah, because with the other news, Nintendo is forcing them in a direction, but they're like, no, we're giving you the option.
Yeah,
you can go virtual or digital, and they can do it. You can do what you want, Sega. And now it's also like Nintendo gives them all the choice, but maybe it's still a little bit pushy in a direction.
Yeah, maybe Nintendo's gonna say, well, they're third-party developers. They're doing it. We're not doing it.
Yes.
Yes. And I think the third-party developers are also thinking like, yeah, well, if I do this, our profit is gonna be a little bit less also, or maybe a lot less, maybe even. So I think that's also one of the reasons, and also with recent games, they don't like to do it because there are a few games, right, or a few companies were saying like we're not gonna do this whole virtual game card thing.
Yep, but I don't understand, like, what is the bad thing if a company lends a game? Because I can also lend you my physical game, right? So what we can do, to prevent this as consumers is we just buy the physical game. Then okay, you don't want me to lend this game, I will just buy it physically then. If it's the same price, you understand? If I'm gonna make the choice, like there's this in between game, like a game that I maybe want to buy or sure, but we're not gonna buy. Both of us, we're not, gonna buy it. Like, maybe a game like Hyrule Warriors, which is coincidentally from a company, Koei Tecmo, and Koei Tecmo already stated or something, I will make a screenshot and I'll pop it right here. They already said that they're not gonna do it. So, I mean, they're gonna block it,
they're not gonna
make their game shareable. No. Yeah, but Hyrule Warriors, right, is one of those games that you are not gonna buy, probably, right? Unless you really, really enjoy it, But you're probably not gonna buy this game, Hyrule Warriors 2, Age of Imprisonment. Difficult name.
I don't know. It's not my kind of game. But yeah.
But I will lend it to you.
Oh,
that was the plan. But if it then turns out like, oh, wait a second, this is one of those games that you cannot lend to someone else, then Nintendo is actually forcing me to buy the physical game.
Yeah, the consumer.
And then, is it then a physical game, or is it a physical game with a game key card?
Oh, we're back again.
Then we're back again. Yeah, because but if it's a game key card, I can still lend you the game, and I can lend you just it doesn't make any sense.
I have to download the game. I need the download link
And the other company, there's one other game up to this point that's also not supported, and that's Doom Eternal, a game from 2020. So this game is, at the moment of filming, 5 years old, from Bethesda/Microsoft, and it's very odd why this game, why does Bethesda and Microsoft, why don't they want it to be shareable, Because if you don't want it, Bethesda or Microsoft, I can just buy the physical game, Doom Eternal, for much cheaper than the virtual game, probably also, and then lend it, to Remco. I can do that. So I don't understand, why would you not do this? I understand why you won't do it, because they think like, we're going to sell less copies.
Yeah, we're going to sell less copies.
Well, but then I'm just going to buy the virtual copy, right? Like.
Yeah,
but then they think
the virtual copy. Yeah, if you lend this one.
They think maybe that people don't want to go virtual or physical. I'm just going to buy the physical copy. Did I say virtual? I mean physical.
Physical, well.
Yeah.
And maybe also with the physical games, when they're selling them also to the stores, like, well, here are the games. You have to sell them. You can buy them for this price. And you can sell them for the price you want. Well, this is the range. But with the virtual games, well, people actually have to buy it in, like, the Nintendo store. Of a Nintendo store on the Nintendo... Nintendo itself. So
in the eShop.
Yeah, in the eShop. So maybe they want to be like in control where they can sell their games also. Maybe that's the I don't know. I'm just Just on the top of my head, like
Yeah.
what it is.
But it's very like then we just buy the physical game,
Yeah,
right?
it's easier. Yeah,
Like okay, I cannot lend this game to anyone, then I'll just buy the physical edition.
yeah.
Or because they don't. It's not like oh no. I mean, it's only like sad for the people that want to go virtual like me. But if it's gonna be like this, then I still will buy some games physical, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the virtual game cards, when you're lending these games, you have to be like rather close to each other also, like in the area. So it's
the virtual game cards, yes.
Yes, because you with a physical game, I can lend you the physical game and you give it back.
Yeah.
But with the virtual game card, you also have to be like close by.
Yeah.
So I don't see the real issue. It's the same, and it's even cheaper the physical game also to buy it then. So I don't also understand.
It is very strange. You mean to say because you cannot share it with someone at the other side of the world and stuff, right? Yeah.
So that's not the problem.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm sharing it with your whole country and like every 2 weeks. Oh, here.
No, indeed.
Here's this game. Here's this game.
No, indeed.
No, that's then I would understand. Like okay, well that is a problem then. Because nobody's gonna buy your games anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just gonna lend them. No,
so we are we have no idea why Nintendo. I mean, who's doing this? Because Nintendo is giving them the choice. It's Nintendo doing this. Okay, it's not the companies. Nintendo is giving these companies the choice. Nintendo wants this confusion or something. I don't know the thought behind it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing positive.
Yeah. Just please let us know in the comments down below what you think the reason is why these third-party developers might not want to do this. What are your thoughts? Please let us know.
Yeah. Why won't they want to do this? Yeah. And why especially Bethesda and Microsoft? That's the strangest of them all, I think, because Microsoft with Game Pass, and gaming will be possible everywhere and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, they're supporting the cause, the virtual gaming cause.
So yeah.
Very strange.
Very strange.
Very strange.
And that's it. What it is? These are the modern times we're living in. We have to deal with these things. But back in the day, we didn't have to deal with things like this, right?
No, you only have to deal with the person who you lent the game to.
Yes, it was a much better time back in those days, and I think it's time to go a little bit back in time. I think it's time for Retro Rewind N64 Edition.
Oh yeah, Retro Rewind. So for this week's Retro Rewind, Tycho is going to select a certain game for me. A Nintendo 64 game, a retro game.
Yeah, I just want to say from this book that I got from my mother, hello Ilona, and I thought what to do with this book. Yeah, I have to say it every episode because I feel like no one is watching this. So if you're watching Retro Rewind, would be nice.
Let us know.
Let us know. There's lots of things you have to let us know, I feel. And she gave me this book and I thought, what to do with this book? Let's use it for this podcast. So...
All right.
You were saying, I'm gonna read a bedtime story to you.
Yeah,
right now.
Bedtime story. So I was gonna read a story from this big Nintendo 64 book, and and there are certain words that I will of course not say. For example, Mario, Luigi. I will change those words to something else. Remco's gonna try to guess, and if you guess the game, you let us know in the comment section down below. The timestamp. Can you guess it before Remco does? So yeah, it's a race. This is a race.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
Alrighty.
Oh no.
Okay, I just have to...
Come on. You can do this.
I think I can do this.
An easy one, please.
Okay.
An easy one this time.
Okay. Aladdin. Aladdin, like
the N64 game?
No, he's like the character, the dude, Aladdin, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Yeah, but Will Smith was...
Oh, no, it was the genie, right?
Yeah. Alrighty. Aladdin was such a groundbreaking...
Genius. Okay.
Aladdin was such a groundbreaking Arabian dude that by the time 1997 rolled around, the 1993 original Arabian dude had already seen a healthy number of ports on other systems, including that were thought impossible. A tip of the cap to the surprisingly competent SNES version. Rather than joining the likes of the Jaguar 3DO, 32X, PlayStation, and the recently released Sega Saturn versions of Aladdin, though Aladdin, the Arabian Dude, was actually an entirely new game and was essentially considered the third in the series, despite what 2004 Aladdin and his dark hole would you believe? Yeah, would have you believe? Whatever.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
the plot takes place after the events of the first Aladdin movie and Aladdin 2, following the apparent destruction of Hell's forces. So I guess that's Jafar. The military decides to quarantine the Mars moon Phobos and shroud it in such thick radiation that no human could ever go near it again. What they don't realize, however, is that they didn't quite manage to kill everything. And there's still one creature alive.
Okay.
Abu. You know the monkey?
Oh yeah, not Donkey Kong. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Life is not always about Donkey Kong, Remco. There's more monkeys in this world. There's one creature alive, so. Even worse, it isn't just any old demonic grunt, but the mother demon Abu. An evil entity with the ability to rejuvenate dead tissue. Deciding to put her healing hands to good use, the mother demon Abu brings back Hell's demons. And this time they're stronger than ever. So it's up to the hero from the first two games, affectionately known as Aladdin Guy, to head back and finish the job once and for all by destroying everything, including Mother Demon Abu. Aladdin plays similarly to his predecessors, but while Aladdin 2 looked a lot like the first game, Aladdin has an entirely different visual style. All enemies have been recreated from scratch. And while they're all sprites in a 3D environment, they're now based on pre-rendered CGI characters, similar to techniques used in Donkey Kong Country. So, this is really written here, so there's some Donkey Kong, written here.
Oh, really?
It's really written here.
Okay.
And as such, they have a more 3D look. A new atmospheric lighting system also makes the game look significantly moodier than previous Aladdin titles, with the new ambient soundtrack. While the new ambient soundtrack gives a far more unnerving feel compared to the all-out rock soundtrack of the previous games, which was obviously still brilliant in its own way, Remco. The camera has also been moved slightly and is now around chest level rather than head level.
Oh.
And I know you like the chest, Remco. Tell me more when the camera is off.
Yeah.
Which may not seem like a massive change, but gives the impression that the enemies are larger, further intimidating the player. For the most part, it still plays like the classic Aladdin games, but it definitely has more a horror vibe than before. Despite its general critical success, and despite the fact It was a canonical third game in the Aladdin series. Aladdin and the Dark Hole wasn't officially ported to other systems. It wasn't until March 2020 when beep, along with developer Night Dive Studios, finally re-released Aladdin and the Dark Hole for the Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and personal computer, where it was given an HD update, an increased frame rate, and a bunch of new stages dubbed The Lost Levels, which tied its story to the 2016 Aladdin reboot. And that's the whole story.
The rest is history.
And the rest is history. Well, this was the whole history.
And it was the history of...
So don't forget, let me know in the comment section down below the timestamp when you guessed it. And Remco's going to guess it right now.
Maybe it's not my answer. Maybe it's Mario 64. Maybe. Maybe a really... I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking... like maybe it's a shooter or something. I heard Xbox. I heard... like 2020, and I know a game from 2020, so I was thinking about maybe Doom. Is that on Nintendo 64?
And that is the correct answer, Remco-chan.
Oh!
The game is Doom 64.
Oh!
So indeed, I
nice.
was censoring a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
But every time when I said Aladdin, it was Doom. And when I said Aladdin in the Dark Hole, and his Dark Hole, it was Doom 64. And otherwise, it was just Aladdin 2 is Doom 2. And that's it. I mean, I was just talking about Aladdin. And Mother Demon is just Mother Demon, but I just added a boom.
Yeah, but
you know?
I know it had something to do with demons, but then first of all, like, well, maybe it's Zelda or something. No, this is far too dark.
Far too dark for Zelda.
No.
So this is Doom. I was reading...
So that's a win for me then, eh?
That is a win for you, and that is a job well done. I'm proud of you. There's also a fun fact right here. Doom 64 has a new laser weapon called the Unmaker, but instead of telling you its name when you collect it, the game simply says, "What the fuck is this?" Okay. And by the way, at the end, I beeped one word, and it's like, it wasn't until March 2020 when Bethesda, because I thought when I say Bethesda, you immediately will know.
Yeah, with the 2020 like reboot.
That's
like,
why I said beep.
I wasn't sure, but then was like...
And then was also the 2016 reboot, because that's the... And that's funny, because I chose this game because we were, of course, talking about Doom Eternal, and that's the 2016 game, and we will not be able to share it with each other, Remco. So that's why I picked this game, because this game, at least, this Doom, I can share it with you.
It's shareable, yeah.
I mean, if I have it on the N64, I can just lend you the cartridge, and you can, play the game. But Doom Eternal, unfortunately, is not possible.
We're doomed. With that
We're
game.
doomed.
We're doomed. Yeah.
But if you turn around the letters in Doom, it brings me a little bit in the mood to play some Smash Bros. Yes.
The mood, yeah.
Yes. So I think it's time for one of those games, which means this podcast is over. But if you want to see us play some Smash Bros, be sure to subscribe on this YouTube channel and hit that like button if you didn't do so already. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank these two kitty cats.